Good morning, everyone. And I have with me today Nitish Mittersain, a very, very dear friend and joint MD and founder of Nazara Technologies, the first gaming company to go public in India. So, welcome, Nitish, and pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Rohit, and pleasure to be here.
Um, you know, everybody has read your story extensively. So, like I said before the start, we want to hear something different. So, we'll
Sure.
focus on two, three things. One is, I think, so you started this game before the dot-com bubble, before 2000. And then suddenly the dot-com bubble happened and all the
Yeah,
money
yeah,
dried
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
So, how was that? How was that period? What happened?
Well, it was super tough for me because I was pretty young then. I should have been partying like you. Uh, I was all of 20, 21 or so. But the debt was quite a lot. 2, 3 crores at that time is 20 crore INR, $3, $4 million for a 20, 21-year-old is a substantial amount to work through, right? So yeah, it was stressful, a lot of sleepless nights, but like I often joke, right, that probably did a very expensive MBA sitting in Mumbai and very enriching MBA sitting in Mumbai rather than going to again Harvard like you. So
Well, you've also been to Harvard now, but yeah. So, question: what are the two or three things that you think made you come out of this and make you successful? Because so people talk about a lot of stuff. So, exactly that you think today when looking back, what were the two, three things that made you come out of this, right?
yeah, sure. I think one was obviously I was naive, right? I was 21, didn't really understand the gravity of the problem. First, it was painful, but probably if I was today, right, in that situation, probably those problems would weigh down a lot more on me than what it did there. That's the advantage of youth, right? so, so that was, I think, one thing. I hadn't seen enough of life, so I had a vibe that I'll figure this out. Second is, I think I didn't have too many options, and when you don't have too many options, life
Get
becomes
tuned
simple,
with
right?
the only option.
Life becomes relatively simple. Decisions
But
become
but 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 you had
yeah,
options, right? Your father's business was there. I'm sure your father must have said, "You've blown up the money. Now come back and do the business." So,
yeah. No, my parents pushed me to go and maybe pursue an MBA in the US at that point of time. But once I was embroiled in that whole business and its challenges and its issues, I never really was able to get out of it mentally also. So I never
okay.
felt of getting away from it.
So you built Nazara. You created a game. Is that correct? Is my understanding correct?
No, so we started Nazara.com as a destination for casual games that you could play on the web. It
So
had a large number of games in it. Yeah.
so you used to buy the games from someone else, or you just used to
Oh,
convince the developers to put them up on your site?
we had a team that made it ourselves.
You made it yourselves.
Games in Flash. Yeah.
Yeah. So today that business model has changed, right? So today it's a platform for anyone who makes games to put it up. Is that correct?
Of course, I'm talking of how we started 20 years back, right? I think in 20 years we pivoted 20 times. So we nowhere close to also where we started from.
So tell us that journey and when the first time, uh, how did you go about getting customers, right? Sales for you. What were the customers defined? How did you think how you will make money, right? Today, I think 20 years down the line, it's very easy to get valuation venture capital. In 2000 in India, it wasn't something that was
Yeah, the
often there.
markets were in their infancy. So I think fast forward, if you come to 2004, 2005, we were making games on mobile phones. We were using the mobile operators as partners to distribute these games to the consumer. So we partnerships with Airtel and Max Touch that time, which was now Vodafone, BPL. So a lot of the Indian telcos. So they already had a large distribution arm. And the other thing we did is we tried to partner with some brands, right? Like I was making a cricket game, but to make it stand out, I partnered with Sachin Tendulkar to come in as a endorser for that using his brand, etc. So I think two things work for us: getting some of this exclusive big IP like Sachin Tendulkar, and using the telco distribution channel, because they already had access to millions of consumers that they could communicate to. I think these two combined really were the backbone of our sales channel or sales push or
Right.
outreach.
That's a great thing. At around 23, 24, how did you approach an Airtel and say, Baba, I want you to distribute my games? And
So,
so that
so
you must have had a lot of doors closing on you. So
yeah,
how was that
absolutely.
taken care?
So I approached Airtel, and Airtel was not, like you said, not listening to me. Obviously, unknown company, and gaming was also really not hot at that point of time. And I really hit a brick wall in that sense for many, many months. And then one day I was thinking, how do I, break this, break down this wall? Because that's the only route I could think for tangible business. And I was already making games on cricket. So, and Sachin Tendulkar was a brand ambassador of Airtel. From that, from that, I thought, was let's go and do a partnership with Sachin and make games, cricket games around him. Then Airtel will not be able to say no. And that's exactly what happened.
And how did you convince Sachin? That's a great
So,
story. I know I've heard it, but
yeah, yeah.
from
I
you.
reached out. I reached out to his agents. It used to be Voltel at that point of time, and it took me a few months of discussions with Voltel. I think about 6 months, and then one day I was at Sachin's home to meet him, and
Means
obviously after
Worldtel said, okay, you can come and meet.
first 4 5 months they spent understanding this, and one day they set up a meeting with Sachin at his
They
Bandra.
asked you for money around it, or
No, it was all thereafter, after the meeting with Sachin. I think Sachin first wanted to see what is the concept about. What I did good, and from your sales perspective, right? What really swung it for me is that the cricket games we were making, I actually spent some time before that Sachin meeting, inserting Sachin's character into the game, and spending some time getting that done nicely, so that when I met him, I could actually demonstrate to him how it would feel and look for him to be inside a game. See, that time, now it's different, right? But that time, all this was very early for everybody. It was very fascinating for even mobile games were just taking off. Your Java phones, Nokia Series 60 was just coming into the market. I think that's what Sachin really liked. I kind of pushed on the youth connect that this is a great connect for your fans and all of that. And again, that's what he liked. I think those were the chords that I was able to pull to really get the deal done, rather than pay $1 million per annum endorsement fee, because I didn't have that kind of money. And I think Sachin obliged, so that was very nice of him.
so it means you were able to convince him not to charge you anything.
No, I did pay something, but it was a very small fraction of what I was supposed to pay. That time, his endorsement fee was $1 million a year.
And
After the Sachin deal, I got the Airtel contract. So that kind of opened up a door for me. And also, the Sachin deal actually gave me a lot of marketing mileage in terms of media coverage and all. Obviously, Sachin being Sachin, right? Doing something around gaming and all. So suddenly, my company, which was not known at all, people started reading about. And my original investors, Westbridge Capital, the founder over there, Sandeep Singhal, saw an interview of mine on CNBC and reached out to me. And so therefore that kind of led to the first funding happening for Nazara of $1.5 million or $3 million. And that also gave us some capital to start playing. These were the two big benefits that occurred with that deal. I think the Airtel one, of course, was something I'd anticipated. The funding, of course, I had not thought about at all. Would be a outcome of this deal.
yeah, and now that you've gone public this year, heartiest congratulations for that. And I think your valuation is close to $800 million. So from that Westbridge investing $3 million to an $800 million valuation,
Right.
a lot of hard work, a lot of persistence, like you said, pivoting 20 times. How has that journey been? Because from the outside it looks like wow,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah. No,
what
I
goes
think
into.
I think on the positive side, it's been, when I look back, right, from where to where we reached has been fantastic experience, great learning experience, and all the things that we've experimented. Many things we failed in, some have succeeded. That has got us here, right? I think what we did well was learned our lessons in the early years, formulated them into a DNA that works for us, uh, and stuck to that. Now, for example, when I say DNA, I refer to our own beliefs like, low on debt, asset light businesses, and several other such things that
Beliefs.
beliefs that we stick to very closely even today.
Hmm.
Even when we are tempted to deviate from it, I think we stick to that. So I think that's been great.
So I
And
would love to know what your 5 key beliefs are. So
sure.
low on debt is one.
I think low on debt is one. Running asset light business is the other. I think focusing only on positive energy and not negative energy is another. And we walk the talk. In 20 years, we've had no litigation history against us or by us.
Hmm.
Because I personally believe that time spent on half the
Litigating.
time spent on positive, right, rather than negative, is
Better.
very wrong. Hate to make any future commitments. So whether it's issuing a post-dated check or it's signing an acquisition agreement that says, after 3 years, I'm committing to, let's
Buying
say,
this. Hmm.
buying X% and all of that. Because my belief is, today I can make a commitment today or I can do a transaction today because I know what I have with me, right? Future is unknown. And if I'm making forward commitments, then I don't know what I can deliver or not at that point of time. I think that's another belief. I think uh, staying true to your word more than agreements also is very important, right? And I've really, again tried to stay as true as possible. It's not nobody's perfect, but my favorite movie is The Godfather. So, so I learn a lot of lessons from there.
So
I try to.
what is your next 5 years, from a billion to 5 billion, or retiring and enjoying what you built?
I think the gaming opportunity in which I spent 2 decades, right, from 2000 to 2020, has all been the groundwork for the real opportunity in this decade, which I believe is a decade of gaming in India, right? So for us to slow down or get complacent, obviously, is not an option and something not desirable at all. For us, our IPO was a fantastic milestone. It took us 21 years. So I think at 21, we become adults now as a listed company. And we have,
Congratulations for that. Yeah.
thank you. We have to be responsible and we have to dream big, like any 21-year-old youngster, right, out of college. We have to dream big. So I think we are as excited as any 21-year-old youngster would be
So I think
about
your
life.
advice to a 21-year-old is think big, right?
Yeah.
Think big,
Absolutely.
have a focus, and go after your goal. I think
Yeah.
it was a yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
You're
think it
right.
was a very interesting conversation. Thank you, Nitish. Thank you for that. I hope you
Sure.
enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you.
No, thank you, Rohit.